Hello, welcome everybody. We're gonna just right here, right now to reconnect with Bread for Weather. Let's see if we can connect. Welcome everybody. My name is Jonatan Cañada, and we are just waiting to reconnect with him. We have some issues with connection before we did the test and was working really good. So let's gonna try. Welcome everybody. Bienvenidos a todos. Hoy tenemos el orgullo de presentaros a Bread for Weather de Nueva Zelanda. Así que let's gonna see if this is going to work perfectly. We did some tests and it was working perfectly, but you know, this is live, so sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. So hello Loan, hello everybody, Marco Manara, the amazing guru of music for aerobic competition and of course other disciplines that we know that you are very good playing with music for rhythmic gymnastics, so I'm watching you. Agustina, paparazzi, I don't know your names. If you say hi, just put your name so like this we can just say hi and know who is right here right now. Let's gonna see if we can reconnect with Red for Weather. We're having some issues with the connection, but we're gonna do our best to reconnect with him and start this amazing connection. Well, as we were saying, Bread for Weather has been the first consecutive year winning in IIF at Suzuki World Cup. So it's a pleasure to know about his career and of course about his life after, of course, enduring competition. And you will see because he brought one of the best choreographies and memorable routines in our sport. Of course, it was the Flintstones. I remember really well because I remember to watch them in our video tapes a long time ago. We were talking that, oh my God, like we spent a long time ago for that. So let's gonna see if we can just connect with him. We're having some issues, but we will try to do our best to reconnect. Let's see if we finally get it. Yes, now you have you here. Let's gonna see if I can just accept you. Oh my God. Ali, here we go. Yes, I can. Yes. I know that you're there, Brett. Just trying to reconnect. Let's see what is going on. Waiting for you. No worries. Let's see if we can do it one more time. Okay, let's see. Finally, we will get it. No worries. It's going to happen. At least we will record all the meetings. So let's see. Hey, finally!
Hey, finally!
Hello. How you doing?
I'm relieved.
It's weird, you know, like sometimes like after testing like it was perfect, you know, like and it happens with Angela that so we're connecting from different types of cities and connections and of course the other part of the world. So thanks so much for being there, Brett. It's just
My
amazing
pleasure.
to connect with all. It was good because what it happened allowed us to reconnect with champions that some of them even we didn't met before because of different periods of competition and like this.
Yes,
So
yes.
we're telling to the people that I met you in '93 in New Orleans, and it was like amazed because it was like, oh my God, like he's huge, you know, like normally like in aerobic competition we were like small, no? So how you
Yeah,
doing?
well, I'm not tall. I'm not tall. I'm
What?
only
But
five foot
you know,
eight.
like for us, it was like, or I don't know. I saw you like, you know, like because I was a kid, so I was 16. I was like, oh my god, he's there. Like, hello. Like people cannot imagine when you meet some idol on Icon.
I know.
That it's surprising because it's so intimidating. You know, like, oh my god, he's there. But thanks so much for joining us and to share a little bit of your life and career to aerobic people, because we were saying that now people, they don't know the roots of aerobics, you know, like how it began. And so thanks so much, because it's a pleasure to have you here and to know a
No,
little
you're
bit more.
welcome. You're
So
welcome. I just wanted to say that when I first went to the ANAC Worlds in 1990, I saw the guys that used to be in the Crystal Light Championships from like 88, 89, and they were my heroes. It was the same thing.
yeah, like
So,
it,
yeah, it's amazing.
it
Oh
was
my
like
God, they're real.
we were telling before, you know, like at that moment there was no connections, internet and all this stuff, so you were like receiving the videotapes from Brazil and from United States. It was like, okay, like I have like treasure, you know, like it was like, oh my
Yeah,
god,
yeah,
this
it
is
was.
gold. Yes.
It
It
was.
was like
It
gold.
was.
Yes. Right now you can find more or less everything on Google and YouTube and like this, but it was like gold. So let us talk about you. How did you start aerobics? Because later we will see some of your routines, but let's gonna start from the beginning. How do you get into the world of aerobics?
Well, I loved aerobics in the 1980s. It was so much fun. The music, the people, the energy. And if you saw the Crystal Light videos, the American videos that Howard Schwartz put out in the 80s, they were super energetic. They were exciting. And I fell in love with that. And I was part of the whole Les Mills system in the 80s. So aerobics in New Zealand was really pumping. So that was my first passion. And then I met people who were competing. So my friend Lisa was a New Zealand champion, and she inspired me to compete. And she had wonderful musical interpretation. She was so musical, and that's the passion of the music that was strong with me.
So
That's
so
how I
you
started.
so Lisa empower you to compete, and you start like training how, because we will see like the routine was composed for aerobic patterns, and
Yes,
and there was no regulation where they said you have to do this. There were compulsory, so we know that, but
yes.
suddenly how do you create a routine of aerobics at the beginning of his history that you don't know how, or how do you start the choreography?
Well, you use everything you used to do in a class. Everything you saw in an aerobics class, jumping jacks, it was that was aerobics. There was no gymnastics.
Yeah.
There was no gymnastic. It was aerobics. So when I went to Suzuki in 1990, you
Hmm.
had a 32 count combination pattern, a repeating pattern, 8 count pattern,
Hmm.
and apart from abdominal push-ups, trying to think of what else, the leg kicks, the
All right.
normal. It was just aerobics. So you just had to do everything you did from class, and you had to do it with flair and musical. For me, musical interpretation, the passion of the music, and it was the energy and the excitement. It wasn't gymnastics. It was completely different from what it's evolved.
Mm. So I suppose that you start doing qualifying rounds in your country, and finally
Yes,
you want to go and compete at Suzuki World Cup in 90. No, let's
yes,
gonna see the routine, because most of the people think about, the elements and all this stuff,
yes.
crazy stuff we're doing right now. Let's gonna see, because I think with Kenichiro Nomura we were like enjoying also routines like that he did long time ago. Let's gonna see one of the first routines that even the oldest one we had from Suzuki World Cup. So let's gonna check this. これはまた面白い始まりですね。Incredible how you can. 綺麗な柔軟性を見せてくれます。 Wait. I don't know what's happened. I just touched something.
It's the internet.
Like,
It's
oh my
sabotage
God.
now.
Like, no, wait a second. Ah, this is
You know,
live.
back then there was only the first year. There was only individuals in 1990.
Yeah, I saw that because I
Yeah, just
remember that
individuals,
you were like, what happened?
men versus women.
Yes, that I saw that there was like we have everything that we had trios in another competition. So trios was not on the same in the
No,
same
trios went
competition.
to Brazil. Trios
Yeah,
went to Brazil,
yeah.
and individuals went to Japan, Suzuki in Japan.
Wait a second. I'm gonna do it
No
again.
problem. Technology, right?
This is our. Here we go. Let's gonna.
I love that song. So I was 27 when I did this. 30 years ago. That was the 8-count combination. 32-count repeated.
Love it because
So you can see it's quite different, wasn't it? Quite different from even in 1 year, it changed dramatically.
the what?
Even in 1 year, the competition changed dramatically. Actually, in a month, every month, the standard just seemed to get higher and higher. Each
Yeah, because
competition it grew.
like we see that like all the aerobic movements, as you said, it was from aerobic class, and you can see like the basic movements that like
Yeah, it
now
was.
we love because I
Yes, of
remember
course.
those movements because we're talking about you, but of course, hope one day we will talk also with Marosa, that was more or less at the time that you were competing. And
Yes,
I remember in our nationals to see that movements that were like, oh my God, it was like amazing to do them, you know. Right now, if you
yes,
do them, people will look at you and say like, oh my God, what are you doing? You know, what's that? But this was the aerobics, so like
it
the
was.
excitement. So,
It really was. So you had to sell it with energy and enthusiasm
yeah,
and your personality, and that's what aerobics really was. It was energy and enthusiasm with basic movements. So
this is
you
what
know
I
you had
wanted
to
to ask
demonstrate.
you because like you're watching these routines and they are so passionate and like it's a great party. What do you think about
Yes,
the routines that now are more like dramatic and maybe like so soft and no interpretation because maybe you just have to focus on the elements? When we were talking with Kenichiro and all the other champions, where like we lost the excitement of getting on the stage and perform and have fun on the stage. Right now, we lost that, and I don't know why. What's happening into the change of rules and of these things?
I think it's because you have a sport, and as a sport progresses, the skill level naturally gets higher and higher and higher and higher as it heads towards an Olympic level. Like I had a look on YouTube what the 2019 champions are doing, and it's so different. It's incredible, the skill level. So on one hand, it's really difficult to stop progress because people are naturally always going to try and do better and better. On the other hand, it's a completely different beast now. It reminds me of discipline of gymnastics. Very high skill, but you don't see the artistic element anymore. So that's gone. The rules have changed, or that's progress. It's sad, but it's just a different beat. I think it's amazing what it is today, but it's not aerobics. I think, what do you call it? Aerobic gymnastics?
Aerobic gymnastics, yes. Yeah. But like talking about your period, what you were competing, I don't know, you were competing because I remember you were competing with Marcel Oliveira, with Kenichiro Nomura. At that moment, yes. People was doing choreography and was doing aerobic steps and like this. What yes. A judge, because I cannot imagine, even I was there when, you know, like when you were receiving 260 points and it was like a huge amount of points before.
Yeah, I don't know how they did that.
But I don't know, like you were living that moment. What was the decision of saying, okay, we want Brett Fairweather to win, or we want Kenichiro to win, or what was the decision? Like it was more like the artistic, it was more like the audience was completely with the competitor because they loved it, or because, you know, like it was so difficult before. Like I could see like the commenters of the moderators saying, oh my God, like you were doing like amazing push-ups and interpretation and like this. So this could be an option to say, oh my God, because Brett is creating the spider push-ups, he will win this year. Or what was the decision of saying like he will be the winner or not?
So in 1990, the very first, you could see how aerobic it was. It was basics of aerobics. So in my opinion, it was the person who had the most energy, enthusiasm, and presentation with strong athletic technique. Then in 1991, my technique really increased and my skill level increased, and it was still had to have very, very good technique. That's when I started bringing in the Spider-Man. So because I created an artistic element, a memorable element, and I still use my energy and enthusiasm. So the difference for me in 1991 is I created my own music. That Spider-Man I commissioned music people to come up with it. I said to them I wanted Jaws music at the start, and this is going to be my push-up section, this is going to be my abdominal section, this is going to be my haka at the finish, and we had to build it with all the sound effects, and the guys came into the studio and they sang it. So skill definitely picked up every year, and every competition between IAF and ICAF, the Howard Sports competition, the competition just kept climbing every year. And then about probably 91, 92, the gymnastics really came in. And then that element started to just grow from there. So I think it was, for me, it was the energy, enthusiasm, and strength of movement that started it. But it was probably that I loved performing. So when I was doing my Spider-Man push-up, I would look at judges. I would spend a lot of time on that Spider-Man. If you look at the 91 Suzuki, it's a long section at the start. You wouldn't do it today.
Yeah.
And all that time I'm looking at the judges, you know, just trying to get them to feel, you know, something rather than on their artistic side. So that was my plan.
These are things that we lost because even not talking about IAF, IIC, FISAF or FIG. One thing we lost was and it's expressly done, not to use the effects. and this is something that you create in 90s, 91, and people start, like I said, doing a piece of art, because music was
Yes.
this is like going to the Oscars, and you bring a good dress that is a choreography, and then you bring the jewelry that these are the music. So people now is not using them, and for example, using the effects or not using the effects with your Spider-Man push-ups, and you know, like the, how you say, beat,
Yeah.
like, so these
Yeah.
are the things that are memorable and remains in your head forever. So right now they are not using this, and this is something that we learned from you and from other champions, that even I remember, because now it's all in computer, but to you know, like the movies, you were like taking the tape and cutting this tape and this tape and connecting this to just cut the
Yes.
music. So it was like incredible
Yes.
difficult to cut the music. So you did like an amazing music, and right now we lost that also. So I think like you brought to aerobics some of the most incredible moments in music, also interpretation.
I like music is always the founding thing for me. So in all my routines, choosing the music is the number one. It's my first thought. And when I watch aerobics today, the music is just beat, 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 beat. So I tried to choose something that was that had energy, that I could maybe create a theme to. So it had to be something that was exciting to me, and it had to have a meaning to the audience. So as I said, in 1991, I created my own masterpiece with the Spider-Man routine. The song was called Brett's Back, and in 1992, I did the Flintstones.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the sound studio and created that whole front start. We put a beat under the Flintstone music in the studio. We cut and spliced. It cost me a lot of money, but it was great.
So
And so to me, it was music first, theme second, performance, and try and put as much skill as my body could handle at the time, because
and
I was probably
one
27,
question
28,
before going
29.
one question, sorry, one question to go to next video is because
See,
I just watched you and was like, oh my god, why those outfits?
which ones?
All of them.
All of them. Okay, so yeah, well, I mean, well, first of all,
Well,
the style was,
if
that
you
was
are,
the
if you're
style back
talking
then.
about this, if you're talking about this, like the way you wanted to bring those passion, this passion to the judges, I could not understand about the outfits, because I think they are so passionate. So it's like so you.
Yes, yes. Well, in New Zealand, we had a famous brand called Cosmic, and they did painted leotards. So
Okay.
for the first 2 or 3 years, I used Cosmic. So everything was, it was painted on. Um, and then when in '92, you know, I had the whole Flintstone tie and the diamonds and the cut shorts. You know, so it was quite mad. But I saw the sport accelerating with gymnastics. And
Angela
I
is saying cosmic. Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I thought, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So I had to really, yeah, exactly. So I just had to create in my mind. My talent is my choreography, or my mind, how I think. So I had to create themes to entertain the audience. And I remember in Suzuki in '92, when I started doing Fred Flintstone, I remember seeing a judge drop their pen. You know, they were judging, they went, because no one had ever done anything like that. And so I was trying to win them over with my artistic. That was the plan.
But I love, because you're bringing us a lot of words that we forgot about it. You know, like entertaining
Yeah.
people. It was like, oh my god, yes. You know, like now, I'm sorry for routines are not entertaining people, because there is no
No, they're
people
not.
at the competition. So that's so sad, because I can see
Yes,
like competitions when you were doing before, it was like packed, so like
they
amazing. Like
were.
I saw like I remember New Orleans, it was like, oh my god, you could not even walk. So
Yes,
let's gonna change from, because I know that you were working competing in IAF, IAC.
yes,
So let's gonna see in 90s your routine in NIC. So let's gonna check what is happening and what is the difference between one federation and the other one. Let's gonna.
sure, sure, sure. Well, straight away in this competition, you can
Completely.
only have one piece of music. So I couldn't have my I'm the Invisible Man at the start.
He's laying down on the floor. And the judges are thinking, what is this guy up to? Wow.
So one piece of music, so I chose the twist.
Now watch this. Push-ups. One arm with a pause midway down and midway up.
This was in San Diego, 1990. The
Hard
crowd was
one.
sensational to perform to.
One, I am strong. Two, and I want to have fun. This man got into aerobics by weight training.
Imagine the amount of people.
Oh yeah, it
Audience.
was great. So I think this was June 1990, and I think IAF Suzuki was in March. So this is about 3 months later, or 3 months after the Suzuki competition. And straight away, I could see my technique better here. Every competition, we were just getting so much better. Everyone was. It was growing so fast, but still very aerobic. Oh yeah, I would love. I would look at the judges right in the eye on that. It was fabulous. Competing in USA was like a show. Howard Schwartz's competition was more like a show. Apparently there, I put my foot out over the line, and I think it cost me a place.
The amazing is that even the moderators are even more excited than you know, like, oh my God,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
doing that. Oh my God. But
I know.
the amount of people that was watching the competition, that never again. So it's like a pity, because people, I suppose that they wanted to see you, they wanted to see the choreography, they wanted to watch like the full competition, because there was plenty of people. So you are enjoying these routines.
Oh, it was great. The American people too are so nice. I remember the next day walking around the IDEA, the IDEA convention, the fitness convention, because they were the delegates from the IDEA convention, and they would attend that Saturday night function. So the next day you would wander around the trade stand, and the Americans would come up to you and shake your hand and say, I love what you did last night. And I didn't win. I was third. I was second. I put my foot over the line, so it cost me a place. But it was always tied back then to the industry. So aerobics and the industry worked hand in hand. So if you were successful as a world aerobics champion, you could transfer your skills over to the industry. So I made a lot of contacts, and I got a lot of work in the fitness industry all around the world from those early years, and that was the benefit.
You said one interesting thing, because I remember that we were having like the idea convention with the competition, and
Yes.
it was like a good fusion.
Yes.
It's not working anymore. Do you think that maybe like there is not like this amount of people because there is no connection right now from the fitness industry to the championships and competitions? Could be an option.
I believe so. Because you have to remember that when I first started doing aerobic competitions, the people who would come to watch you were people from your class. So, you know, everyone that went to all the classes would come and watch, and they could relate to what you were doing. So they would cheer you on. And deep down, they were thinking, wow, they're great, but maybe I could do that. Well, today, it's unrelatable. It looks like some gymnastic discipline, which is fantastic, but it's not relating to the industry, and it's not aerobics, if you get my point.
So we were saying that maybe we should do, of course, like we cannot avoid the high level of performance that we were having right now. But we were saying that maybe to have a competition where the doors were more open and more accessible to people to join and come back to the feeling that we were having before, no? Like, so you attend to idea convention to have some classes. Now you can have Les Mills, Zumba, whatever. And then suddenly you can go and watch your idols competing with something that fits more into the aerobic industry.
Yes, that's what it was like for me, and it was incredible. I don't know how to get that happening again, but it was a fantastic. It changed my life. It was amazing. I got to travel all around the world, and even when I didn't win, like in '92, people still remembered my Fred Flintstone routine.
Well, no, that's for sure.
And you know, they used to say, "Hey, we want you to come to our country and teach at our conventions. We remember you. You're the Flintstone guy." And I thought, man, I didn't win this year, but they still want me. It was good.
Like, tell me about the experience, because I love to see that when one competitor, because there was a rule in FIG later that said that you could not compete in different federations that were not following the same rules. Before we were like, we were talking also with Anthony Aiken from Australia, that we had the passion of changing the routine so fast because you were competing in different competitions. Tell me about the difference of competing in IAF, Suzuki World Cup in Japan, and IIC in United States. What was the feeling from competing one and the other one, and why competing in both?
Okay, so as I mentioned before, in IAF you could have any piece of music, which is great. You could mix anything. When I went to America with the Howard Sports, the IAC competition, you would only have allowed one piece of music. And I think it was to do with music copyright in the United States. There were a change of rules. I think in the United States you were allowed to do forward rolls, and I think in IAF you were not allowed to do forward rolls. It was quite different. Now it's all completely changed. But the Suzuki was very well run. It was run like a formal competition. Everything was on time.
Yeah.
The Japanese are
So Japanese.
It was great. It was friendly. The Howard Schwartz competition, a different feel. You felt like you were in America, and it was like a show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was big.
because it was, you know, they had the cameras everywhere. They did it so well. I remember when I first did my Spider-Man push-up in the heats, and I was in the finals, and the camera guy comes up to me and says, "You couldn't kind of turn your move to the side, could you? Because my camera's going to be there." I said, "Sorry, mate. I'm aiming at the judges. You're going to have to follow me." So you knew you were, and there was cameras always swinging around you, so you felt like it was a show. So really, both competitions were great. They were just different, and you would adjust your rules. But the thing was, between the different competitions, the competition leapt up. So if Ken and Shira and I were competing at this level, and then 3 months later, you can guarantee our routines are much higher.
Yeah.
And the next time we would meet, they were much higher. So it just started accelerating like that. So you had to be really training full time because it was going so fast, from basic to more and more and more. But I love both.
But the thing that it was perfect for you that you compete in the 90s in Suzuki World Cup, and then in 91 you won again. So it was like great to have the first consecutive year world champion. Never happened before.
No, well, it's to win the first, and I said to you before, you know, I won $10,000 that first year. It was which was a lot of money, right? 10,000 US, you know, particularly back then, because I didn't have any money. And then the next year they had different categories, and then I won another 5,000. So the money was really good. There was no money in the United States in Howard's competition, but still, you didn't do it for the money. But I loved it. So it's, yeah, I think for me, just to be the first ever Suzuki World Cup champion is, yeah, it changed my life.
Now,
and it gave me
sorry,
confidence.
I see Angela that now she's saying now we have to pay 10,000 crowns to go
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
competition.
yeah. That's what it was. That's what it was. It
No,
was a
like
lot of money.
we're like yeah, like now you don't have to get, you don't receive it, you have to pay it to go to the
Yeah.
competition. So it's like,
Sorry,
yeah,
guys.
Angela, you're right,
It was
completely
good in
right.
the beginning.
You were saving the whole year just to, like, okay, this year we have to choose between these two because there is no more money. So yeah,
Yeah, no
so
more money.
finally we had like a 90, so you compete in 91 and you won again IAF. Let's gonna see in 92 that you came for this was your last year of competition, 92,
Yeah,
because we don't see you
yeah.
anything else. It was short, like a lot of competitors compete like really short period, but we have to tell the people that, and of course I told you that Flintstones was also, because people doesn't understand that the rule of world champions is like, okay, you can just get inspired with everything from everybody, but you cannot copy. That's a rule that you can never do it. So I had to tell the people that I was inspired by your routine of the Flintstone, of course, the opening, and it was an opening that we did a different way because it was more dynamic in that rules. In those rules, but let's gonna see your routine of the Flintstone. That I think it's one of the most memorable routines in aerobic history. Let's gonna go for it.
Once upon a time, in Big Rock.
I had a lot of fun making that in the
Oh,
studio.
He only learned a couple of this week to come up his skills for. And another one, Al Jones. Knuckle, one arm push-up. On the other side, he's falling back. Look at those times that pull out. There is Brett's signature, the spider push-up.
So this is my George music from the year before.
they are incredible. So still remember all the choreography.
The good thing was I was able to be able to mix it in this competition, the music, because I own that music. Still very aerobic, wasn't
What?
it?
This is incredible. So after I don't know how many years, 30 years, you can still remember everything. Now we were talking with athletes and competitors that you cannot even remember routines from last year. So that's the one of the things that I feel sad because you're supposed to remember everything. Of course, people that is on the sport will remember, but it's about the audience. People that doesn't know about the sport should remember everything perfectly from Flintstones. I remember push-ups, abdominals, the beginning. I remember everything, and it's like 30 years ago. So I think it's one of the best things we can share to the new generations about the routines we did before, and let's keep on pushing them to learn a little bit from them. What is happening after competition, Brett? You decided in 92 you had this competition. I don't know if this was the last one or not, but what
Yes.
is going on? Because I know that you start a new project called Jump Jump. Tell us more about you. What is happening after
Okay,
your
so
live competition?
during the heats of the Suzuki World Cup, I hurt my hamstring and I was practicing some moves when I was doing the kicks, you know, and I was like, ooh. I managed to get through it okay, but it was always, I still had to work on it throughout the year. So I competed again in the Howard Sport competition, the IAT, in June, and I got third in that event. Then I had my final competition was the international. I went to Brazil. They had a circuit. A guy called Mauricio Fernandez held a competition. So Marcus Irwin, Kenichiro Nomura, I think Mark Flanagan, he was from Inglaterra. So we all came to Brazil, and I won.
Hey!
I only say that because that year Kenny and Marcus beat me in '92, but I got them in Brazil, and that was my last international. I tried to come back, but my hamstring just went. And I even went to Australia to train under a man called Richard Chew. He was the guy that trained Marcus Irwin. He was Marcus Irwin's coach. And I said to Richard, get me over there, get me over there. And he took me over there for about a month. And I was starting to learn all the gymnastics, you know, all the gymnastic stuff that I'd never ever learned before because I didn't know how to do them. And I went to see Sue Stanley, and I stayed at her place for about 4 or 5 days, and she showed me some tricks too. But my hamstring went again, and that was it. So that was the end of my career, and I was 29, 30. I was 30 years old, so relatively old for a competitor. But I had made a lot of contacts in the fitness industry, so I was traveling all around the world. I must have traveled to 25 countries teaching aerobics Kiwi style, my version of aerobics. So I was getting paid good money to travel all around the world. I did it for like 3 years before I came home and got married, had children. And then I started a squad called Top Guns, which Angela McMillan joined in 1996. And she was part of our academy. So then I started getting into the business. So I was running championships, running training courses. So rather than being the competitor coach, I was a little bit of a coach, a little bit of a choreographer, but I was getting into the business side of it. So then I started organising fitness events and still doing international touring right up to 2000. And then I started getting in after that into children's fitness. And that's why I do my jump in today. So I love children's fitness. And my program is all about the music. It's all about crazy, fun, silly things that I was doing, but I do it with children because they love my crazy style. It's about the fun of the music. So that was me. So yeah, I did a lot of work. I got a lot of work out of it. I promoted myself as a world champion. I put out videos in New Zealand. I was on TV all the time. I got to have a very high profile. I really made the most of my profile. And even still today, a lot of people know me as a world aerobics champion. People my age. And now the children in New Zealand know me as Mr. Jump Champ. So it's quite funny when I might see someone say, "Oh, I used to do your aerobic video when you were aerobic champion," and there's a daughter down there, and I said, "Oh, do you do jump jam at school?" And they say, "Yes, well, I'm Mr. Jump Jam," and that's like, oh, so I have two different sort of hats, you know.
Because
so, yeah, that's what happened.
What I really love is that, of course, like people cannot think about it, you know, like. I was 16 and it was the first time I saw you. It was like, oh my God, now we're talking like if we were talking, taking a coffee, you know, like from champion to champion, friend to friend.
Yeah,
but, you know,
I know.
like the first impression, and I will remember because it's always like this, no? Like we were talking about Marcela Lopez and also Angela, that she was competing in FISAB, and it was like she was like, oh my, I was afraid, like that different way, no, of watching you. Angela was saying, oh my God, you are my idol, like this, and me from the outside, that I was the champion, you know, I was watching them, they saying, oh my God, like they are so fucking good, you know, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But like, and both of them that were champion, but also other people that could still there, they're still there, like Sara Moreno and other champions from FIG and FISAB, that they were there. And I was there in '96 and in '93, and I see you, I was like, oh my God, he's the one. He's the one. I was like, can we take a picture? Like, even I don't know where I could find these pictures because I you know, I lost everything. But it was like amazing to see that how you were like the fan and you were the champion, and then you start becoming champion, and you see like how the vision of to you and all the champions and friends, it start changing, but the respect and the proud of being that people work so hard in different ways, not only now in gymnastics because of you are doing great elements, but the composition of the routines that is still remains right now, like the Flintstones. That I think we have to do a ranking of the best memorable routines of whole history. For me, one of them will be yours. That's clear. And
No, I'm looking for
to
that.
see like to see like this is happening, like we miss them, and I think like people, audience, it's is asking for that because there is no audience anymore. So
No, you have to keep it entertaining. I was always my competitions in New Zealand. It was always about entertaining, and there was thousands of people. We had 2,000-3,000 people turn up to a competition and watch. So you were always performing to your audience, and I loved it. I remember in 1990, the stage came out into the audience. So when I was doing one-arm push-ups, I just couldn't look straight ahead. I had to look to the people over there. I had to do it one up, and I was looking. I was working the crowd. You know, so you knew, all right, I'm going to go out, I'm going to target that judge, this part of the audience, that part of the audience, because you wanted them to, you know, so you were working the crowd. It was part of my artistic strategy.
because
It had to be entertaining.
convincing the audience and convincing the judge, because maybe like a judge was saying, okay, I'm not going to put you first, but maybe like just watching him and you know, like convincing him just because of the energy, the passion, the projection,
Yes,
like this, you
yes,
could get the first place, and now it's not
you got it.
happening anymore. That was the good thing.
You got it. Because I've been in competitions where, even in New Zealand, I was third, ranked third in the heats.
Mm.
So in the finals, and I'm still ranked third. There's only one. My routine was not going to change. It's just me and you. You're the
Yeah.
judge, and I'm competing. I am going to convince you that I'm the bloody winner,
And the good thing was
and
like,
I'm going to look
okay,
at you.
you know, from qualifications that you're saying, okay, the judge that gave me the second or the third, you know, like it was, I don't know what, Brazil and New Zealand, and you know, like you had to come back on the finals and watch where were the judges from Brazil and New Zealand to keep on watching them and convince them that you have to be the winner. Sell
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
routine, you know, like, and it was
yeah.
like that.
Sell it. You
Because
sell it, boy.
this is what it happened in Suzuki when we won in mixed pair, you know, like we know that we had to convince three judges and we were like, okay, let's go for it, you know. And
Yeah.
suddenly that was the way that it worked before, and you could win without being maybe the best one. So that was a good
Yes,
thing.
correct. Because it's a competition, and competition is not just about the best routine. It's the person who can handle the pressure right up until the time. You know, the heart is boom, boom, boom. You're in the final. The heart's going like this. The person before you and after you can you know, get a flutter, but you have to come on strong.
Mm.
You have to steal their thunder when they walk off stage. You have to steal their thunder. And I went to
I love
Brazil
your
because
passion because it's like
yeah,
saying
yeah.
that's mine. You were like,
I know. I went to Brazil. Remember I told you in 92, I went to Brazil. Marcio de Oliveira was before me. And he walked out on stage in Brazil, and the crowd erupted. And I thought, uh-oh, here we go. So and then his routine finished, and the crowd erupted. So I was up next. So I said, right. So I walked out on stage, and I don't know if you've ever seen a Māori haka. It's a Maori war dance, and I used it as a tool to get the energy from the Brazilian people. So I did this war dance like this, and I chanted, "Ah, come on, like this," and the whole crowd went silent. This is before my routine started, and I had no idea I was going to do this, but I had to get them on my side. And the interesting thing was,
you went for it.
I went for it so hard that I blacked out. And I stood there, and the music came on, and I didn't move because my head was spinning. and I had to wait about 5 seconds before I remembered my routine, but I won. But that was my strategy. You
yeah,
could
like
do it back then. You could do it.
this how it works. Yes, like the
Yeah.
strategy is to convince the judges and to get the goals, and
Yes.
that was the
Yes.
thing.
Because the judges they're looking for something different. You know, if I'm judging you and I'm going, okay, you prove to me that you're better than that person. You show me. How do you show me? You have to show me with your eyes, your energy. You have to look at me and you have to touch me here. Apart from all the elements, I'm wanting to be moved. And that was always my goal as a performer, to move the judge so they would, oh my God, they
One
knew
of
they were
mine
on stage.
also.
Yeah,
Me too.
yeah, exactly.
Just last chance, because we will need to cut soon. It has spent already like 1 hour. Oh my God, this goes so fast. How it works? Let me do it again. How it works? The book with the
So it's pretty easy, really. So yeah. So the goal is to have like a straight face. So you're a storyteller.
okay.
And you're
Let's go.
closing your palms like this, and then you're using pinching with 2 fingers, and you're going opening up the page of the book. The book is open. You lick your finger like that, and turn the page. Turn the page. Yep.
Okay.
And then lift it up. There's a lot of dust on it. Ready? And then in your best storyteller voice, you look at your pages and go, once upon a time, in, and then you go mad, bedrock.
You don't know how many times I was doing that at home. Like my mother was like, "Oh my God, he's fucking crazy, this boy!" Like with the book and like this. So thanks so much for
Yeah.
the inspiration of
You're
Dracula.
welcome.
Because
You're welcome.
of course, a beginning had to remember someone, one of the best, and of course one of the best memorable routines in our history. So last words for our future champions or past champions, legends, from you.
Okay, so if you are competing, for me, you have to appear different than everyone else that walks on stage. So choose music that no one's using. Be different. When you walk on stage and you hit your pose, I don't know how the rules are these days, but don't start how everyone else starts.
That's a good one.
You have to look at. I always used to start. Think of it like a book. Start with a great start, a memorable start, a peak in the middle, and a memorable end. You have to be different from the person. So look at how everyone's starting. Don't start there. Do something that no one's ever seen before, and think two steps ahead. Because the good competitors are thinking a step ahead. You have to think 2 steps ahead.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry I never got to see you compete live. I would have loved to have seen you compete live, but
Who knows? Who
I
knows?
was touring the world, and I would hear your name.
Just proposing to all federations to start with our Masters division, because I know that we have a lot of champions around. Angela Macmillan, and right now Marcela Lopez is there. Big kisses to everybody there. Thanks so much, Brett, for this amazing time, because I could feel the passion, even you are in the other side of the world. And thanks so much, because we miss that. I miss that, even I'm not competing anymore. But yeah, like passion, like this. That's the key of don't start like everybody's other starting position. So don't repeat, don't do it. Do completely something different that people will be stuck watching you.
Absolutely. I just wanted to add that my plan in 1993 was to come back as Anthony Hopkins' Silence of the Lambs. and I and I even got all the sound bites. You know, I had all the sound bites recorded. And
Oh my god. Yeah, but you know, like that was about craziness, you know, like yeah, like
yeah,
doing something like you know, like I said to you, like Dracula, it was just that I put the headphones looking for music and somebody like, you know, like the vampire saying, Jonathan, you know, like, oh my god, you know, like goosebumps.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
like, okay, this is the music.
yes.
Even it was completely different. But thank you so much, Brett. I know
Okay,
that we can
thank you
spend,
too.
I think, the whole year, but people doesn't know that we are having a group on WhatsApp group with all the champions. So it's so much fun because when we are reconnecting with somebody, oh my God, this Sunday it's Brett Farwell from New Zealand. So grateful to have
Congratulations
you.
to you for organising it. You're
Yeah, you know,
amazing how
like
you organise all of this.
and I think like you know, like having this time and this video for people that is even competing right now or not, or they are old champions or new champions, doesn't matter, or participants, they just practice aerobic because they love to. It's amazing to just reconnect and to feel like the passion you have right now is still there. Hope to come soon to New Zealand because I never been there, so oh my god, I have to go there.
You come and
And
stay at my house.
yeah,
Come and stay at
like
my house.
you know, like I need to go there because my brother already said that it's like amazing. So thanks so much from the deep of my heart because you know, like this means a lot to me, and of course, I think to all the people that is involved into aerobics. So thanks so much, Brett. Big kisses and hope to see you soon. If it's not New Zealand, Suzuki World Cup, IIC, whatever. So let's gonna see and meet together soon. Okay, thanks so much.
Okay, ciao, amigo.
Gracias. Thanks so much, everybody, and hope to reconnect soon. We will continue with a little training with choreographies of Angela Macmillan and Anthony Aiken from Australia and New Zealand. So thanks so much, Brett. We stay in touch and hope to see you soon. Gracias a todos. See you soon. Bye.